Forrest just woke up from a nap like less than a minute ago.
I'm not going to be 100% today, guys. But
he didn't want to record yesterday.
I'm here. I showed up. That's like 90% of doing these podcasts is just showing up.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a perfect 100% track record.
You want water?
You want me to hand you your water?
Yes.
Okay. Got my freeze-dried strawberries and my coffee to kind of perk me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to go. Woo! Man, what we got going on this week, babe?
A lot.
What topics do we have for the people today?
You know. Forrest is literally closing his eyes right now. His eyes are literally like shut.
I'm just trying. I feel like I talk a lot, so maybe I should let you have this one.
Well, we've been watching The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first time watching it. Forrest has already seen every episode, but I just finished episode 3.
Yeah, I'm really into The Boys. I like The Boys.
I've been digging it. I don't like the name, like the title of the show, like The Boys. I think that sounds like retarded, but I like the show itself.
Yeah, it sounds like a documentary about life in prison or something.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a superhero show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gotta call it something. Titles are hard. I always have a difficult time coming up with titles for my videos, and oftentimes I'll go back later and change them even after they've been uploaded. And I'm like, I think of a better idea. That happened recently with my Harry Potter video. And yeah, typically people, comment something and I'm like, I should have thought of that. Then I just go ahead and steal that comment. But it's a good show. Like, I knew you'd like it because it's got like conspiracy, and it's got like current events and politics kind of woven into the fabric of the show.
Yeah.
But it's all told through this like superhero narrative, kind of mocking, Marvel films and Marvel and DC basically.
Is it mocking Marvel and DC?
Well, it's not mocking it, but it's having fun with the, tropes and the superhero
I don't really
iconography.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I don't really see it
It's
as
a
like
send
mocking. It's just kind of like, what I just feel like it's really like realistic of like how it would be if there were like people who had like superhero abilities. Like there would be like a company that kind of like would recruit them.
There's always some company.
And
Speaking of which, if anyone wants to advertise on this podcast, hit us up.
Oh yeah.
We'll definitely show your products. We'll totally, people. I always get people asking me on my YouTube channel, my popular channel, the Forest Fire one. They're like, "Hey, we'll send you a free pair of Vessies if you do a little 30-second review." I'm like, no, no way. But I'll do that on this channel, the one that gets no views.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a good job kind of like, like making it seem like the real world, and the way these things go down, they're kind of like treated like athletes.
Yeah, like they're just like untouchable basically. Like they could just do whatever they want. And it's not even necessarily because they're like physically so powerful because they have these superpowers. It's literally just because they have this like multi-million-dollar like company, like, always like coming around to kind of like clean up their problems and pay people off, and everyone wants to be a part of it too. Like if you're a superhero, like, or if you're super abled is how they said, like if you have superpowers, like you like want to be in like the 7, like, or like VOT, like be a part of that their like group or whatever. So like the people who are in like the 7 and VOT like have a lot of control and power over you, as well as like the people who own like VOT.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's good. Yeah, it's based on a comic book and it's from the guy who made the comic book is the same guy who did Kick-Ass, and he's good at kind of like deconstructing the superhero genre. And Mark Millar, I believe, is his name. The comic book kind of has like awful artwork. Like I tried reading it, and I think I read like half of it, or I read quite a bit of it, like like a while ago, like a year ago or something. But the art was kind of hard to get past. I was like, this is terrible. But yeah, I think the show is actually better than the comic. So they do a pretty good job. Like Amazon really throws its weight around with this show. Like, you can tell a lot of money went into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because especially like as the seasons go on, like even like season 1 was a little bit rougher. You can tell they've kind of polished up the edges on the latest seasons. I think season 3 is airing right now, either 3 or 4. I have no idea, but I was like, I don't want Alyssa to get too far behind because I'm really enjoying it. I've been meaning to show it to her for a while, so I thought we might as well get caught up right now. And yeah, she's really taken to it. She's asking me spoilers and stuff.
I haven't asked you spoilers.
You're like,
I don't want spoilers. I want to go into it like completely pure.
I'm not telling you anything.
Yeah, don't.
And then I keep like almost spoiling you because like we go on TikTok together, and like there's like a boys like trailer
like
or TikToks and bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like no.
You guys,
no.
I need like some prayers or like manifestations, whatever, for my son to stay inside of my body for like 2 more weeks.
Just 2 more weeks. Yeah, definitely.
Like 13 more days at this point.
Look, this is Huey in the comics.
Ew. He's so much hotter in the show.
This is Butcher in the comics. I know, don't they like look bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
I can't believe that's Huey. That's disgusting.
Yeah, he's supposed to look like Sean, the guy from like from Shaun of the Dead. Sean, what's that guy's name? Shaun of the Dead. I want to say Sean.
It's literally
Penn.
like incomparable. Like if you guys saw this picture that Forrest just showed me.
I'm thinking of Simon Pegg.
It's like incomparable. Like
Simon Pegg.
The guy who plays.
Is Sean Penn an actor? That's like some actor,
Huey.
right? Yeah. Okay. I always hear about Sean Penn, but I don't think I've ever seen him in any movie. Yeah, Simon Pegg. This is the guy who plays Huey's father.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, Huey's dad was like getting on my nerves like big time in the first episode.
And the artist from the comics said he based Huey's look on Simon Pegg, and they were originally gonna cast him as Huey when the show was first in development a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But then they felt like he was too old because he's like. Simon Pegg's like I think in his 50s now.
Yeah.
He's 52. So yeah, he got too old, and they're like, okay, we got to cast someone else. But they cast him as the father.
What a bullet they dodged.
Yeah, I mean Simon Pegg's a good actor, but he's just not the right age. Huey has to be like young. Yeah, or it's better if Huey's young, I think. But yeah, the comics even like more like shock factor, I feel like, than the show. Like Mark Millar, like all his comic books are like just really like gross and like disturbing. Like he like just always goes for like the most shock value thing possible. But then whenever his stuff gets adapted for like, the silver screen, like Kick-Ass or The Boys, like they always tone it down. But it actually kind of helps the show. I felt like with Kick-Ass and with The Boys were like, it's not as gross and extreme, but it's still pretty shocking. It
doesn't seem like that gross.
Yeah, just as like an example, like in the show Starlight, this is in the first episode, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I'll just kind of spoil the first episode. But like Starlight is pressured into performing oral sex on the Deep, right? But in the comic book, she's like pressured into it by like every male guy on the 7, like that, all like 4 different dudes she has to suck off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's just like overkill, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was kind of like smarter for them to like
just have like one.
Just have it be like one thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like kind of think similar situations like that. where it's like portrayed a little bit more realistically, I guess. Yeah, season 3 is airing right now. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely want to catch you up to that before anything crazy goes down. But yeah, hopefully like season 4 will be like the last season, because I don't want this to be like a show where they drag it out too much, you know, where it's just never ending. But yeah, Simon Pegg was looking ripped in these photos. I just pulled up some pictures of Simon Pegg, and he's looking like jacked or something. I don't know. Radical body transformation. I guess he doesn't really look jacked. He looks kind of terrible.
Yeah, he looks like all like emaciated.
I don't know what's going on. I guess you can see he's got like a 6-pack, but he's also like really rail thin. He's like, I don't know. This photo looks crazy. Guys, look this up.
What's going on?
What's going on with Simon? What's going on with this?
What?
Okay.
That's crazy.
That's enough celebrity for one day.
Celebrities are so weird. I like hate them.
Yeah, they're terrible. Yeah, you're so right, babe. That's so true.
I'm like so over like every celebrity.
All the celebrities, man. Like, jeez. There's also like a season 1 of Diabolical. Like, it's an animated The Boys show. I haven't seen this, but I want to check it out.
But yeah, like, you guys, I just need to keep River inside for until like July 12th, and then he can come out. I'm just like getting nervous that he's gonna want to come out before then. And if he does, like, I probably wouldn't be able to have a home birth.
Yeah, we had kind of a scare the other day. We went to our midwife appointment to speak with our midwife and do some tests and things. And then on the way home, we thought your like water may have broken, because you were like, "Oh, I'm drenched in fluid. I might have sat in something." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Did you sit in something? And you went to the bathroom, and it's like, no, like your underwear were like soaked. So we're like, oh, like, are you giving birth? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was like scary. Like, I was like kind of like putting my body in like a weird position to get Luna out of her car seat. And when I like got out of the car, I kind of was like, oh, like what? Like, why is like my like butt and like whole like down their area just like super like, it just felt like I sat in like water or something. Yeah, it was crazy, but I didn't sit in anything. Like, it came from my body. And then I don't think it was pee. I don't know. It was weird. So yeah, we went back to the midwife.
I tasted it. It didn't taste like pee.
And she took it, like, she ran a little test. She like swabbed my like cervix a couple times with like this like Q-tip thing.
It was like really clear and like wasn't sticky. It literally just felt like water.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was weird. And like my water broke when I gave birth to Luna, and it was different than that time. Like with Luna, like my actual water, it was like pinkish toned and had kind of like bloody, like kind of like membranes kind of in it, like, you know what I mean? It was still like water, but it was mostly clear, but it was like a little bit pink and red. And then it was like a lot, and like it was kind of like, whoa, like that was like big time, like, you know, like gush of water, like, you know what I mean? So this time it wasn't like quite like that. It was like clear and it wasn't as much. But yeah, I was still freaked out, and like I still wasn't like 100% convinced that everything was chill. And so now I'm just like, I'm 35 weeks pregnant right now, and 37 weeks is like when it would be like, you know, recommended like to, you know, have a home birth or whatever, just because like it's not necessarily like for my health or safety, it's for like the baby's health and safety, because before 37 weeks, like the lungs, like his lungs probably aren't like fully developed yet. Like they just do a lot of like, they're still developing like right up until, you know, like 37 weeks basically. And yeah, Luna came out at 37 weeks and 5 days. So, and I don't know, I was thinking like I might keep him in a little bit longer this time and be pregnant until maybe like 38 weeks. But yeah, now I'm like freaked out, and I'm like trying to just like manifest keeping him in. Like my midwife said that she might like consider doing a home birth at like 36 weeks and like 5 or 6 days. Like, you know what I mean? But like yeah.
Pushing it.
But yeah,
Pushing it
that's
at
really
that point.
pushing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope we can do home birth. I really don't want to have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But if we do have to end up going to the hospital, we'll make the best of it. And
yeah, I
Jen will be there, and I'll be there, and Luna will be there, and we'll all figure it out together.
Yeah, I mostly just like, I mean, obviously, like I want to stay out of the hospital for like my personal, wants and wishes and desires, but like it would just be like traumatic for River to like come out and just like immediately be kind of like separated from us, and to
they're not gonna separate him.
Well, he's not gonna, they probably won't let him just like have golden hour. Golden hour is like when like the baby just like lays on like the mom like right after birth.
Yeah, he's gonna be, if he did come out, he'd be like premature.
Yeah, they would like, they're not gonna like, I mean, it's not like they're gonna like they might very well take him into another room. I mean, you would have to go follow him and like be aggressive about it.
Yeah. You have to like be aggressive with these doctors because they don't like to listen. They like to tell you like, how they want to do things, and it's like, no, you have to, if you want things done the way you want them done, you have to really like let them know and put the pressure on. Yeah,
like be pushy and stuff. Yeah. But like, I'm just saying, like he probably wouldn't be able to just be like held by us, and like, I'm really looking forward to like just trying to like nurse him like right away, like right when he comes out, just so he has like the easiest, like most peaceful like transition like into the world as possible.
Yeah, if you're really worried about it, maybe you should talk to Jan about it and see how her experience is, because I'm sure this has happened to her before, where she's accompanied one of her clients to the hospital for a premature birth and then gone through that whole process. So she might be able to counsel you on some of your like concerns.
Yeah,
in that situation, that might alleviate some fear or discomfort. If you reached out to her, I'm sure she'd be willing to talk to you about it at least.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we're hoping to keep him in. This similar situation kind of happened with Luna a week before Alyssa's water actually broke. She had kind of a wet rush, and we thought her water broke at that point as well.
Yeah, we went to our old midwife in California, and she was like, no.
Yeah, we're just gonna cut back on the walks and cut back on like the activity for Alyssa. Alyssa's basically just gonna be like, bedridden for the next 2 weeks, and then after that, if we make it past these next 2 weeks, then we're good. Then we're kind of in the clear.
Yeah, we can like, once I am 37 weeks, we can just kind of like go back to normal and just like whatever happens at that point. But yeah, it just freaked me out. The boys.
Just
one boy.
We also saw a movie on Hulu this week called Fresh, and that was enjoyable.
Yeah, that was good. It was like Sebastian Stan and like, what's her name, like Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah,
because we just finished like Under the Banner of Heaven, and she's like one of the main characters in that. And then, so yeah, when we saw that she was in Fresh,
her star's on the rise. Her and Sebastian Stan have some sweet dance moves in the movie. And it's a pretty disturbing film, I would say, like overall, but it's done like tastefully.
Yeah, I am normally not into like horror movies and stuff, but this wasn't, I wouldn't really call it like a horror movie. It's more just like kind of like a thriller, I guess.
It was definitely horror. It was just not done in like a really classless way.
It wasn't like, I mean, it was scary, but there was no like jump scares or anything that left me super like disturbed. You know what I mean? I mean, like no imagery that left me like super disturbed or like really, I don't know.
It's funny that our midwife is going to stay at the hotel that they based The Shining on.
Yeah.
Stephen King based The Shining on. She said her partner is like a big horror movie fan, and they're gonna go stay at that location.
Mhm.
I think they shot the exteriors of the movie there as well. It's pretty funny. And I told her about Doctor Sleep, which is, you saw Doctor Sleep, right?
Yeah.
Doctor Sleep.
I did.
That was a pretty good movie.
Mhm.
If you're in the mood for a little bit of bait.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie.
Yeah, it's good though. Yeah, you're probably high. We're probably just stoned out of our minds.
Can you pull up Luna on the ring?
Sure. Yeah, my phone's about to die, but
-2.
I'll do it. Something went wrong. Sorry about that. Try again.
Yeah, it's not working for me either. I hate when this happens.
No, this doesn't usually happen. What? Oh no. She's probably fine. But yeah, Fresh was pretty cool. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. And then we had to stop it halfway through the movie because we only, watch stuff for like an hour or so at night.
I get really sleepy.
Alyssa, she has to wake up. And I wanted to keep watching, but I was like, yeah, I know you got to go to bed. So we saved it for the next night, and I was just like thinking about it all day. I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Looks like our Wi-Fi might be down, so I'll have to switch to the cellular data. And now it should work. Yeah, sometimes our router just goes kaput. Still not working. Bait. But yeah, I'm sure she's fine. She just fell asleep in her bed, and yeah, I don't know if we mentioned it, but Luna's got her own bedroom now where she can sleep separate from us, which is cool.
Yeah.
Kind of making way for the new baby to come in and co-sleep with Alyssa once he's born. But yeah, just can't seem to connect.
I guess it's fine. I guess we'll try again later.
Do or do not. Okay, so yeah, Fresh, that was good. What else, babe? What else we got cooking this week?
Pretty much it.
Yeah, just
as far as like movies go.
Yeah, just I've been watching like The Umbrella Academy. It's okay. It's not as good as The Boys. But it's decent. I'm kind of watching it on the side. I'm sure it's like someone else's favorite show or whatever, but I don't know. They need to do like more superhero shit. Like, I don't know. A lot of good like family drama in that show though. If you're into that. Just finished up my job for this company, so I'm getting back on my own video. I'm going to attempt to finish my Batman and naked prison people fight scene over the next couple weeks. If River decides to stay in, I may have a shot at finishing it. The Brick World video is totally edited and cut, so that's ready to upload. I think I'm gonna wait until the 15th to upload that though. I'm gonna put that on the main channel, and that'll count as like July's upload. Because recently, every month of this year, I've posted one video around the middle of the month, so that'll count for July's video. And then I'm working with Keshin on a Superman video, special secret Superman project. So I recorded some lines for that today, and yeah, it's been fun working with Keshin, talking to him more, like working more closely with him, ironing out details and helping each other out. It's been cool, but yeah, I'm just pretty burnt out. I'm pretty tired. I've been working really hard, and I haven't been getting that much sleep recently. Got like 3 hours of sleep last night.
I'm sorry.
And I just got a little nap just now. But yeah, Alyssa woke me up and she's like, "We gotta do the podcast." So I'm like, all right, I'll do the podcast.
Yeah, Forrest has like been dragging his feet about this podcast.
I should have done it yesterday.
Like, I don't know why. Like, I guess he's not into it anymore.
No, I'm into it. I'm committed to the podcast. I'm here.
like you're committed to it, but like you're not like enthusiastic about it.
I know. It's just hard to like.
You're just like,
be
oh,
on.
like I guess like we'll do it, but like like
It's hard. It's difficult to. Some weeks I'm like I'm totally ready and excited, and other weeks I'm just like, damn, I don't know if I have enough to say this week. But I try to keep it fresh and interesting for you guys. Try to keep the insights. Oh yeah, I finished the Obi-Wan show. That was terrible. That was awful.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see that though. But yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to see this Brick World video. It's gonna be cool. And yeah, I'm excited to start doing some more like live streams and stuff now that I'm back working on my own personal projects. Tell us about what you got going on.
I feel like I'm like forcing you to do this podcast.
No, this is I started this
like
podcast.
I feel like I'm like holding a gun to your head and like forcing this upon you.
No, I would do it. I would do it anyway. I'm just I just like to act dramatic. I'm just tired. I've been pushing myself really hard. And yeah, I smoked some Delta 8 today, which is like, it's basically weed. It's like legal weed. It's like derived from the same plants, but through some technicalities, through some genes, particularity, the plant isn't considered cannabis or whatever, so it's not illegal yet. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. It seems like most states are going the way of like legalizing marijuana for medical use and stuff. So, the Delta 8's been helping me a lot with like my back, because I've been having lots of issues recently over the past few months with pain, and yeah, it helps the back a lot, but it also just makes me kind of like feel like slow and kind of foggy, and I wish I could be like sober, but also have the Delta 8 like help my back. So you kind of gotta pick your poison. I just kind of like have been smoking it whenever I'm like starting to feel bad, but usually I don't have to smoke it for like a few days. Like I smoke one joint and I'm good for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm like eventually like my back's just bait. As you get older you start falling apart. That's me. I'm an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Like 28. That's when things that's I always heard that like 28's like when things start going downhill.
What? Really?
Yeah,
That's like not that old.
I've passed my prime, my peak. Everything's just downhill from here.
What?
Yeah, but no, I mean like I've led a successful life.
You're like just like starting your life.
No. I'm like a third of the way through it.
Yeah, I guess.
It'll be, but I've already accomplished a lot, so I'm pretty.
I know,
pretty
but
happy.
like you're like just starting kind of like your like life as like an adult, like doing like adult.
I've been like an adult for like 10,
I know,
like
but
a decade.
like not like an adult. Like that's not the right word. Like as kind of like like you have a family now. Like you have like a baby and another one.
Yeah.
Like that's like kind of when I feel like
things really change for you once you have a kid.
Yeah, like that's kind of when like your actual like adult life starts.
It's like second.
Like
that's
before
like
you
real
have a
adult,
kid,
yeah.
You're kind of just like still like not really an adult yet.
Are we gonna watch any more of The Boys tonight?
Yeah, if you're down.
I'm down.
I want to watch it for sure.
I'm just sucking down this coffee. I'm just trying to get this energy up. I'm just trying to be like, woo,
woo.
but I'm more like woo.
Woo.
Yeah, I also like probably threw out my voice earlier recording lines for the Superman video, because whenever I do voice recording I get really into it, and then like my voice like hurts after because I'm like yelling and stuff. Alyssa and Luna can hear me from upstairs and I sound like a crazy person.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's kind of scary sometimes. Like there have been times where like I thought like some crazy shit was happening down here. Like I don't know, like someone came over and like came in through like the basement, and like you were having like a really intense argument with somebody. Like, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, who is that? And it's just Forrest down here like alone, like doing his voices,
talking to myself. Yeah, doing my voices. That Forrest, he's crazy. Yeah, doing voices is fun. But yeah, I really like to like lose myself in the role.
Mhm.
Yeah. What else? What else can we talk about? I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. What's been dominating the news cycle recently?
I mean,
The Supreme Court. You know, they're a bunch of numbskulls. You know, according to lots of people, they're you know, a bunch of old white men making the rules.
except they're not all of them.
Yeah, except not, because Amy Coney Barrett and the other guy are like not old white men. But whatever fits the narrative for people, whatever makes them happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are really upset about the abortion ruling, and I feel bad for people. You know, like, I don't know, like on both sides. Like, everyone's so like upset about it, and they think.
I mean,
it's like,
not everybody. Like,
I think it's like
like
The Handmaid's Tale.
half of everyone is like really happy about it.
I mean, yeah, some people are really happy about it. Yeah, I'm kind of like in the middle, I guess. I can kind of see like arguments for both sides, but people are really impassioned about it. And yeah, I think our country's pretty like divided, you know. People are really split right down the middle.
Yeah, like the thing that kind of like bothering me about this whole situation recently is that people are just like blatantly like lying about like what this is gonna mean for, you know, like women and stuff, and it's like causing people problems and like they're making like life decisions based on this like false like narrative that like people are saying that like women aren't going to be able to get like treatment for like miscarriages or like ectopic pregnancies. I think that's how you say it. Or like other kinds of like, you know, issues where like the mom's life is at risk, and so like they would have to kill the baby to save her life basically. And it's like none of those things like are abortions, and none of that is illegal. Like, and it's like literally just common sense to save the mother's life, because like if you don't, then you're just gonna have like two dead people like instead of just like one, like, you know.
Yeah, that doesn't really fit like the narrative though.
It's like if you just like think, and like there are no like laws or like bills like in any state that are like, you know, oh, like we won't treat you like if you have a miscarriage or like or anything like that. Like it's literally just like you won't, like doctors like won't be able to like go in and like kill like your baby like intentionally, like for no reason basically, like no medical reason.
Yeah, people are just really like, I don't know, like upset and like
people
confused about it. I feel like they don't really understand like abortion or like what it is exactly. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it's just like a clump of cells, like it's not like a baby until it's born, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like it's definitely a baby, like especially like right before it's born. Like people are saying like it's not a baby until it's literally out of the womb.
Yeah, that
and
literally
like,
just makes like absolutely no sense. That's like really,
you gotta have like a little bit of nuance. Like I feel like
Yeah.
both sides need to have like a little more like nuance and like understanding and like compassion for each other, because there's like lots of like very particular like situations, and to say that it's not a baby until it's literally like its location depends on if it's like a living human being or not. It's like really stupid.
Yeah, I've seen, and then yeah, going along with like what I was saying a second ago, like
But like to like prosecute, you know, mothers or whatever who like want abortions is like also like really dumb. Like you shouldn't
well,
like
yeah, like, and then that was like something
try to arrest people.
like women who are having like because of this rumor basically that, you know, it's gonna be illegal to get like miscarriage treatment or to, you know, kill the baby like to save the mother or whatever. Like people, like women are having like miscarriages and they like won't go to the hospital because they're like afraid of like the law. And it's kind of just like, that's not like, you don't have to be afraid of the law if you had a miscarriage. Like that's not what that's not what it is. Like having it, like,
yeah,
you
it's just
know.
like misinformation about this stuff gets passed around
And
so
then
easily.
I saw a girl on TikTok saying how like her husband is gonna get like a vasectomy, and like how it's like her and her husband like would love to have more kids, but she's like so scared of like possibly having like some type of issue with the pregnancy, you know, that would like, you know, risk her life, and like her, and like doctors wouldn't be allowed to, you know, like save her over and like, you know, let the baby pass away, and she has like 3 other kids at home or whatever. And it's kind of just like, that's not like true. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that was true, like that would be like extremely fucked up and like doesn't even make any sense at all. Because like if you're like pro-life, then like you should be pro like everybody's life and like trying to save at least like who you can. Like, you know. But yeah, like it's just like unfortunate that people are kind of like falling for like this bait or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like regardless of like how you feel about like this issue, it's like you should like want people to like know like the actual truth of the matter, like about everything, and like, you know, not just like something that's gonna fit like your narrative, or like the narrative or whatever. It's like unfortunate.
I know, yeah. People are really upset about it. It's yeah, it's kind of annoying to like all these like pro abortion people are like kind of submitting these arguments in bad faith. Like they're like saying like, oh well, like what if, you know, a 6-year-old was raped by her dad, and like, you know, are you gonna force her to have the baby, you know? Or, and it's like in that situation, like I think obviously like I think like they should get an abortion because it's like an incestuous like baby, but that's not like the situation that most abortions are. Like most abortions, you know, it's just like the mom just doesn't want the kid, and it's like a healthy kid, and it was conceived like, you know, not by rape.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
so it's kind of bad faith to like think of the worst possible situation and be like, oh, so you want to outlaw this, but actually you're arguing for like just any woman to be able to kill their kid.
yeah, like
whenever they
when
want.
people like say stuff like that, I just kind of want to ask them like, okay, so like would you be okay with like abortion being like only acceptable or like only legal like in like rape, or like, you know, only in like the life of the,
Yeah,
if the
of
life
course
of the
they're gonna say
mother
no. Yeah.
was at risk or whatever. And it's like their answer, yeah, it's no.
They just believe like a woman should be able to like kill their kid like at any point in time, as long as the kid's inside of them. They should just be able to like kill it. And it's like, it's pretty fucked up, you know, to like murder your kid after, especially after like 20 weeks, you know. I feel like, I don't know, like if personally, like I don't support abortion hardly ever, you know, like in cases of like where the kid's gonna be messed up or have to, you know, eat through a straw their whole life or be in a wheelchair or some fucked up shit like that, you know, I think I would be more understanding of it. Or if, obviously if it's a case of rape or incest, I'd be a lot more understanding of it. It makes sense to me. But when it's like just a totally healthy baby, you know, I would never be in support of killing that baby if it can be saved. But I'm also not, you know, interested in like prosecuting people, like, you know, mothers who have to make hard choices. So my kind of thing is like, you know, I wish people could kind of come to a compromise and kind of meet somewhere in the middle and just be like, you know, okay, like after 20 weeks, like it's considered a human or whatever, like legally, even though it's a kid before that too. But just to appease people, like if we could meet somewhere in the middle on this issue, that would be great. But I think people just want to be able to like kill the kid all the way up until like they could be like crowning.
No, like literally, like, that's what some people, yeah, like, I know like that probably sounds like really extreme to you if you're like normal or like if you're like not really like,
it's not outside,
if you're not
yet.
like keeping up with
crush
like
its skull.
Yeah, like if you're not like in the know or keeping up with like a lot of what these people say, like a lot of politicians and stuff. But like a lot of politicians, like all of like the Democrat like politicians, they literally all have like voted and like in support of, or like, you know, they have like outwardly supported like the abortion all the way up until like Like
you could
you could literally be like in labor, like having contractions, like the baby is like on its way out, and like as long as it's still like inside of you, like, and like you haven't like completely given like birth to it like 100%, like you can just like someone can just like kill it.
Yeah.
It's like crazy, like, and I mean,
and most people don't even really understand like how abortion like works too. Like they don't really understand, like it's really gruesome, the process of which, you know, they basically use a metal clamp to pull the baby apart like limb by limb, and they crush its skull with like a big pair of pliers. And like the brain bursts everywhere and like spills out, and the baby can feel everything. Like it can feel pain at like 7 weeks. Like that's when the nerve endings develop.
Yeah, like you can like look up just like former like abortion doctors just kind of like just explaining the procedure. Like there are like kind of like animated videos of it too, but like you can just listen to this guy like explain exactly what goes on, and it's like, yeah, it's like fucked up. Like, and people do have like their minds changed like on abortion, like after they
I feel like I used to be a lot more pro-abortion. Like I didn't think it was that big a deal, but like after I kind of like had a kid myself, and after I like did more research about it and watched like ex-doctors or ex-abortion doctors describe the process on how it's done, it's pretty goddamn horrific. So I definitely am not an advocate for it. But you know, I can understand the other side's position as well. Like they want to have bodily autonomy, and that makes a lot of sense to me too. So it's a really dicey issue. I think it's difficult to come to a compromise, and I don't think either side wants to kind of bend in any way. Like they're both sides are very rigid.
Yeah. I just think like 20 weeks is kind of like, that's like kind of extreme. I feel like 20 weeks is like halfway like through
it's like halfway through the pregnancy. Yeah. I mean, ideally it would be like 7 weeks because that's when they start to develop nerve endings, but that's like too early for most people because like most people don't even know they're pregnant.
I just kind of don't. I also don't really buy this narrative that like women don't know that they're pregnant at like 6 or 7 weeks or whatever, because like I just feel like you should always just be like aware of like what's going on with like your body. Like I don't know, like if you are so scared of like becoming pregnant and it would just like absolutely ruin your life, like like first and foremost, you shouldn't be letting guys like come in you, and then second of all, like if I were in that position, like I would be taking pregnancy tests like all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would be like super concerned about it. So it's kind of just like if you're just so nonchalant about the whole situation that you're just kind of like having sex, like, you know, like letting guys come in you, and then you're just kind of like not taking a pregnancy test for like 6 weeks, like that's kind of like insane. I feel like you're like not taking it seriously. Like you need to be taking it like way more seriously.
People need to be like educated first. Like I mean, it's great to like, you know, try to pass like legislation on things you believe, and you know, for the pro-life people this is like a big win or whatever, this Roe versus Wade being overturned. But like for me, it's like instead of becoming this like authoritarian kind of tyrant and trying to dictate what women can and cannot do, it's better if you like create a culture or cultivate a culture where people don't want to get an abortion, or you try to alleviate some of those fears that women have that drive them to the clinic to have that done. You know, there's a reason why this is happening so much, and it's not because people just like want to kill their kids like so bad, like they just like love killing kids. Like they're doing it because they're scared, because they feel like it's going to ruin their lives, that they're not ready for it. So if we as a society kind of came together, and I think there's like a lot of good groups out there doing this kind of work, and like those kind of groups should be like highlighted, and like, and
those are like pro-life like people, like pro-life like pregnancy centers and stuff. They get like shit on all the time, and like it's like, you guys, like they're like, if you, there's
a lot of help out there
like
if
you want if you want women to actually have a choice and to feel like they can choose to have their baby, like you want them to have like this like support like from these like pro-life groups that, you know, are like funding things and giving them money, like having like donation, like, you know, donations and stuff, because it's like, it kind of just sounds like a lot of these people, like, I mean, it's like, I know it's like not necessarily like their intention, but it's like they just want the only choice to be like abortion. If like you don't like support these like pro-life groups who like reach out and like help women and babies and stuff, it's kind of just like, and you only support Planned Parenthood, it's like Planned Parenthood doesn't really like need more of your money. Like, they are taxpayer funded. You know, like, you don't need to be like donating to Planned Parenthood. Like, you should be like, if you really care about choice and like you are so concerned about these like poor women who like, you know, who are pregnant, like, you should like donate to like pro-life like crisis pregnancy centers and stuff. And it's like that's actually like, you know, and if someone feels like backed into a corner, like into having an abortion, like they feel like it's their only way, their only choice, like the only way to do things, like that's not really like a choice. Like, that's like, you know, like she feels like scared and like, you know, like if she might want to keep the baby if her situation was better. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's like fucked up. Like, that's not like, you don't, and like, why, like, you know what I mean? Like, why do you present like your argument like in support of something that somebody has to do, like when they're in like dire straits and like have to do it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of just like sad.
Yeah, there'd just be like so many more people like out there if, you know, people decided to like not abort their kids. Like, you told me like something the other day, you're like,
yeah, like 1/3 of like Gen Z was
like
aborted.
1/3 of Gen Z was aborted, and it's
and
like,
then
damn.
like there would be like twice as many black people in America.
Yeah,
like if Roe
when you think about it like
versus
that,
Wade,
it's like, fuck, that sucks.
yeah
It's like this like genocide that's happening to our kids.
yeah
It's sad. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, we need to like help people who like help, you know, young mothers like through situations like that.
And I also
and
heard
realize there's like other
something-
options besides just killing the kid.
I also heard like a statistic that was like 8%, only 8% of abortions are done like by women who are like in poverty in America. And like 30% of abortions, I forgot the exact number, like the exact amount of money they made, but it was basically like 30% are like kind of higher class, like rich women like have abortions. Like 30% of abortions are done by women who like have money, and then, you know, like a good amount of money, and then like 8% are women who are in poverty.
Yeah, just like teaching people how to like track their cycles too, and make sure that like they're being safe and they're not like, getting pregnant in the first place.
So it's like a lot,
big
like
part of
it
it.
sounds like just like most of like abortions just happen like because like they're like inconvenient, like the kid is like inconvenient.
Yeah,
Like, oh, like I need to work, like I need to keep making like my, like, you know, like 100K a year or whatever, like, so like I have to, like, you know, like having a baby is gonna be way too inconvenient, and we're like, I have to go to college and get my degree. Like, like having a baby is just gonna like disrupt my plans like so much, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just feel like, I mean, I feel bad for like women who do that too, because it's like they're kind of just like lied to about everything. Like what's important like in life, and, you know, like the fact that it's like not a baby, or like that.
yeah, I've seen
like,
some like really bizarre posts like this, like the lead singer of Fleetwood Mac, what's her name?
oh yeah, like
Yeah.
Steve.
Is it Stevie Nicks? Let's see. I'm just gonna, yeah, Stevie Nicks. Yeah, she had an abortion, and she was like quoted as saying like, oh, like if it wasn't for abortion, you know, we wouldn't have like, you know, my band Fleetwood Mac. And it's like, it's just so like,
It's like crazy, like
crazy.
psycho.
Yeah, like
like narcissism to the max.
No, like baby is worth less than like some band. Like not like there's no, you can't like put a price on like human life. Like I don't know, like that. It's like once you have a kid, maybe like maybe people who have kids will understand this more, but like I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, before I had a kid, I didn't really feel like this as strongly, and it's like now it's like I would give up everything for Luna. Like everything I've ever done like pales in comparison to like just having this one daughter. And family is the most important thing in life, and yeah, to kind of equate that to like a successful career, or to say one is better than the other, or like she's glad she killed her kid because now she has a successful band. It's like, it's just like laughable. Like I can't believe she like said that like earnestly. Like it's just bizarre
it's
to me.
like tragic, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you have to laugh so you like don't cry. Like
Yeah.
it's like fucked up. Yeah, like, and then didn't that one woman like Michelle Williams say something like that? Like she had like, you know,
Yeah,
like
she during her like Oscar acceptance speech or some sort of award she received, she was talking about how she's glad she got an abortion or she wouldn't have been able to be an actress. And it's like, but like, yeah, like wouldn't you rather like have a kid?
You know,
Like,
it literally,
having kids way cooler than any other thing you can do.
it literally sounds like child sacrifice. Like you're like sacrificing your child like on the altar of like fame.
I don't know.
And
Yeah,
like,
I guess some people just don't value kids as much as I do. But like, I just think like kids are really, you know, important, and like Luna is just so
it's
special
literally
to
just
me.
like it's like yeah, like they're kids and babies, but like they're their own like whole like little human lives that they, you know, if you don't like kill them, like they will like grow up. Like, you know what I mean, and like live their own lives and like be like their own people.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of just like really like fucked up, like this whole like I it's just becoming like really clear to me like that it's like super like, yeah, like babies are like human beings. And it's just kind of like we shouldn't like kill them just for our own like convenience. Like it's really sad. Like I'm like, yeah, I feel the same way. Like before I had Luna, like I wasn't really as like I just didn't really understand like the depth of like what was of like the whole like pro-life versus like pro-choice situation, or like abortion and stuff. Like I was just like, oh, like whatever, like, you know, like it's not that big a deal. But yeah, like after I had Luna, like I was just thinking like, oh wow, like that's crazy that like, you know, I had the power like back when she was like a fetus, like when she was inside my body, like I could have just like killed her. Like what? Like that's crazy.
That's pretty bizarre to think about.
Like with no consequences, like other than just like, you know, having like a dead child now, like, you know, like it's like,
just weird how we flip the switch in our minds. Like if a woman has a miscarriage of a baby that she wants to keep, we're all supposed to be like, oh, that's so sad, I'm so sorry, are you okay? But if she purposely kills the child at the same, you know, developmental stage, we're supposed to like, I don't know, congratulate her or just be like cool with it, or like not sad.
It's like
it's not supposed to be sad.
It's not
all
like
of a sudden.
logical. It's all like very emotionally driven.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, yeah, you're so right. It's like if say you have like a miscarriage at 8 weeks and then you have, it's like sad, but if you have an abortion at 8 weeks, it's like fine.
It's kind of just
like,
picking and choosing like when to like feel emotion towards like this child.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty bizarre.
Yeah, it's just like really like narcissistic, I feel like is the right word. Like it's all, yeah. And then I saw like,
I still think it should be like a woman's choice, like up to a certain point. Like I said, like I think like it's ridiculous to like have like a kind of a what do you call it, like a late term abortion, or like a third trimester abortion. I think that's just pretty like unholy. like I'm not religious, but like, you know, like some sort, like that's pretty immoral and disgusting to have like a third trimester abortion. Like you've had plenty of time to figure it out by then. But even like the second trimester, like the baby can feel everything. It just sucks to think about. Like, so like I always just like say
I
like,
just like struggle
please
with it.
don't, you know, if you can, like, God, I don't want to like make a law that says you can't, but I also like hope people like, you know, make the right choice. And I feel like they're just gonna like regret it.
No, yeah, they probably definitely will. Like I just feel like, I don't know, like, yeah, like maybe it shouldn't be like necessarily like illegal, but like I just like don't think like,
yeah, I'm not a fan of like laws and stuff.
How do you have like,
but we have to protect the kid at some point, and I don't think it should be protected like right just because it's out of the womb. Like it needs to be protected a little bit before that.
Like how are like doctors like gonna take like their like oath or whatever, like to do no harm, and then to like, do that. Like it's almost like it shouldn't even really be done by like doctors. Like you should have like your license taken away or something. Like I don't know, like, it's just kind of like yeah, I just like, it's really hard for me to like wrap my head around, and like I'm really like, yeah.
At what point can like the fetus like live outside of the mother, like
I think
on its own?
right now it's 21 weeks.
Yeah.
But like
So
but like the more technology like progresses, like the sooner and sooner that will be.
That's true. We can create like an artificial womb outside of the woman's body, basically.
Yeah.
But
it's
20
also
weeks
like,
seems like a it's not great, but it's like, neither side.
It's also just,
if we're gonna ever come
like,
to a compromise, like neither side's gonna have.
If you're really, really don't want to have a kid or whatever, like you can adopt. You can give the baby up for adoption. Like there's also more couples in the U.S. like wanting to adopt a child than like babies born every day. If that makes sense. Like, so there's more couples like who want to adopt a child than there are children who can be adopted or like who are up for adoption. And like if you are like a woman or like a girl or whatever, and you're like pregnant, like you don't want to keep the baby, like you want to like give it up for adoption, like you'll basically be treated like an angel and you'll get to like choose like who takes your baby. Like you'll have like a menu of like couples, and like you'll get to like see what they look like and see what their life is like what they do for a living and stuff, and like get an idea of like what your kid's life would be like if you gave your kid to them. And then if you contact them and like you guys decide like you're a good match, like they'll like pay for all your shit, like all your medical expenses, like you won't have to so it's kind of just like, it's almost like, yeah, I just have a really hard time like seeing how it's even like like how it's even like a thought or like an idea that like we can just like kill babies or like what, like what I mean, like it's just like really, yeah, like sad.
Yeah, it's a nasty business.
Yeah,
people do it for profit too. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's like so sad.
A lot of these doctors, like they have like PTSD and shit, or like they quit the profession because like it's so mentally taxing on them, like the nurses and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
They like have like nightmares and like visions and stuff for all the babies they've like the lives they've ended.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's like like especially horrible. If you're like a doctor doing it every day or a nurse or like, and you're like you see like what is going on. Like maybe if you've had like an abortion, like you don't necessarily know, because they actually do like drug you. They give you like Xanax, so you like are like high like during the procedure. And they probably don't really like, they try to probably hide it from you so you don't like see what's going on, like just for your own like sake, your own like mental health. But like, yeah, like if you just had an abortion, you probably wouldn't really know that, or like, but yeah, if you're like, especially if you're working there at Planned Parenthood or at any like abortion clinic, it's probably like, whoa, like you'd like see it like you like see the dead babies and stuff, like, and they look like babies, you guys, like they're not just like little like nothing, like clumps of cells or whatever, like they say, like
yeah,
it's like it's crazy.
Both sides are really angry and like just like a lot of yelling and screaming and cursing and stuff, and yeah, it's like not a good place to like have like any kind of discussion, or I don't think anyone's gonna come to any kind of agreement anytime soon.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm like worried about what's next. With like, are they gonna go after like gay marriage next, or like, it's crazy like the amount of power these like Supreme Court justices have, and
mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's like most people like are in support of abortion rights in the U.S. Like I think like 70 or 80% of people like think it should be a woman's choice. And like I feel like the justices like don't represent like the majority.
Well, the thing is with like the legal side of like Roe versus Wade and like gay marriage and stuff is that like the Supreme Court only has, I think they pretty much only have power over just like what is considered like constitutional and what like every single state has to follow. So that's the thing with Roe versus Wade. Like, it's not just like, oh, like Roe versus Wade is gone, so therefore like abortion is illegal in America. Like, no, like that's not the case.
Oh yeah.
It's only illegal in like 13 states, I'm pretty
So
sure.
there's only like in those states there's only one abortion clinic available
just
anyway.
because they had to, like, by
Legally,
law,
they
like
had
they
to.
legally had to have an abortion clinic
So
within their state line.
You said out of like the
So
hundreds of abortion clinics in America, only
we're
13
only
are
losing
closing.
13. So it's like, yeah, this is like, if you're a pro-life person, like, yeah, this feels like a big win, I guess, but like it's honestly really not, because like you can still have an abortion in the United States, like, definitely. And I just feel like the people who like live in these conservative, like, red states that ban abortion, like, they're probably not really trying to have abortions anyway. Like, I don't know, like, it's just, and then like the same thing with like gay marriage. It's like, they might, I mean, I don't know if they are planning on it or whatever, but it's like they might like overturn gay marriage, but that doesn't mean that like you won't be able to get like married like in the United States, like, at all. Like, it'll just be like, the same kind of just like conservative, like, red states. And it's like,
yeah,
do you really want to like live there like anyway? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you should probably move out of there anyway.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not like, I don't know, like, yeah, I think the Supreme Court pretty much just like handles things that are like considered like a problem for like the entire country.
Yeah,
not just like individual states.
I think like the right to get married should be like a state a nationwide thing. Like, I do believe in like states' rights and stuff, but that has to be to an extent. There still has to be like a federal like law, and I feel like abortion should be legal, and I think obviously gay marriage should also be legal across the whole nation. I don't think the state should be able to like take that away from people, but I think the main issue is like counseling people to not get that abortion. Like, even though it is available to them, like, if we can like convince people to like have the kid, that would just be like a huge win. That's what we should be focusing on, instead of like creating laws to prosecute women who are troubled and having issues, because it's got to be like really like mentally taxing and scary and stuff. So that's why they're making these like bad decisions for their like newborns, because they're in a really like it's coming from a place of fear, right?
Yeah, I think like sometimes, for sure, but like, yeah, like, I think I told you this, but I saw this video of like Alec Baldwin's daughter talking about how she had an abortion, and it's like she's like this like rich, like socialite.
I know, but
chick.
It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. I'm saying like you're having the abortion because you're scared.
And she was just like, yeah, like,
and if we can teach people like not to be scared, or kind of change like the story around having kids and not make it like sound like this horrible thing. And if we like praised like women and mothers in our society more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think like a big, I just feel like feminism, like, in general, just kind of like fucked women over like big time, because now like women feel like now women like basically have to work. Like, most women work, or like they feel like they have to, like they would be making big sacrifices to stay at home, being like a stay-at-home mom or whatever. And some women do, like, some women, some families, like, they do survive on like one income so the mom can stay home. But it's like, if this like the precedent wasn't set that like, oh, like you need like two incomes to survive, like, you know what I mean? Now,
yeah, it
like,
makes it really hard for people.
If that wasn't the case, like, it would be like way easier for stay at home, for families to have like one parent at home. And yeah, like, just like this whole, yeah, like that, like your career is like the most important thing. It's like, I just like, it's almost just like that stuff like isn't even like real, because it's like, what is like real is like that your like child that, or like that, like people are real, like, you know what I mean? And like, like careers and like degrees and stuff are kind of like ideas and concepts and things that we kind of like created just to kind of like keep ourselves busy, like on earth or whatever.
Yeah, well, you've got to make money, to support your family, so you got to have a career to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like, just like cave people didn't have careers. They like hunted and stuff
Yeah.
in the wild. And like
There's
farmers, like,
definitely like
even like even
a certain,
not even like just cavemen, like even just like 100 or so years ago, like before like the Industrial Revolution, like was having like your own farm and like growing your own food and stuff like a career. Like, no, not really. Like that was just like, that's like real, like, you know what I mean? Like you were like physically like working and like you made your own like food, and like that's like what you lived off of. Like,
you're talking more like the corporate office job or whatever.
yeah, like that kind of thing is like, that's just doesn't really even seem like real. And like, yeah, we were just talking about this the other day too, is like there's like so many jobs that are just like made up, that like don't even like really exist, or don't even really need to exist, but like they just do.
Yeah, people just do these jobs, for the money so they can survive.
But it's like you're not really like contributing anything like real, like to society, or like to like anything. Like it's just kind of like, oh, like this corporation like needs some job to like, satiate some people or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of useless jobs out there.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, if
ideally, you can find a partner who will either support you, or you can find a partner that you can support, where one of you can be kind of like the child raiser and the other one can be the person who makes the income. That's like the best like system there is, because if both parents are working, then you have to put the child in like daycare, which costs money, or you have to like have them be raised by the grandparents or whatever. But yeah, it's tough out there, like people need to make money, so they have to make hard choices. And like, yeah, the economy is not set up in the way it used to be. Things used to be simpler back in like,
I heard like,
previous generations.
I heard like a good quote that was like, yeah, like feminism took like women out of the home and like mothers out of the home, but before that, like the Industrial Revolution took fathers like out of the home. Because back then, like before, like when we were like an agricultural based like society or whatever, like you just worked like as like a family unit, like you and like your spouse and like your kids, like you worked and like toiled the fields.
Yeah, you
and,
were like bakers or blacksmiths.
Yeah, and like raised the kid, like raised the animals to eat, or yeah, like whatever else, like
the whole
so
family,
you can like
contributed to like this one task that provided something for the community.
Yeah, and like to so they can eat and like trade with other people.
That's basically what I'm planning on doing, just with Legos. I'll be like, all right, kids, it's time to go build the new Gotham City set for the video. And everyone has to, Alyssa does the voices, and, the kids help build the Lego, I animate, and like cultivating a video farm.
Yeah, and like, yeah, that's also why
that's my dream.
I'm really passionate about like homeschooling and stuff too, because it's like I don't want like my kids like leaving, like not.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just like
we don't need them going to some school where they're gonna get shot at. Like no thanks, dude.
I saw like Forrest said something smart the other day, because I was saying how like I kind of prefer like the term like unschooling, and he was like, no, like I definitely prefer like homeschooling. And I was like, well, homeschooling just kind of makes it sound like we just stay at home all the time, and like that's not what I'm trying to do. Like I want to like have my kids like physically like out in the world, like experiencing things and like learning things like hands-on, like and stuff like that, and like going out into nature and like going to museums and stuff. And Forrest was like, well, like I feel like home and like means like just like family, like what I mean, like family based,
right,
kind of learning and like childhood.
Yeah, wherever we go together is our home.
Yeah, and I thought that was really smart, and that made me kind of like rethink like the word like homeschool versus like unschool or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
well guys, let's pick up this conversation next week. We're already running over time, but thanks for coming and joining us on this difficult discussion. I know there's a lot of high
sorry,
tempos,
like hopefully you guys weren't like on your way to do something super cheerful when we started talking about
it's
abortion.
It's just kind of hard to avoid talking about it. It's been dominating the news cycle, and everyone's really inflamed inflamed about this situation, and rightfully so. Everyone's got different views, and yeah, it's interesting to talk about. But
we're gonna go watch The Boys.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch The Boys. So.